way to make money. I think, it should be offered for your competitors because it helps you in the long run. This
Yeah.
sport, this is not a sport where you really, it's a very lucrative career for
Mm.
you. It's more of a hobby sport, so again, just a money pit sport.
I think because I think a lot of the sponsors that are like protein based, clothing based, sort of like, gym based, I think it's a very niche sort of like, area, and maybe, they make money, but they're not making like a ton of money, you know what I mean? So they can't really, I suppose, afford so much to sort of give cash to an athlete unless they're a really, really big company, obviously. It would be better, like, say, for instance, like, you know, um, I jumped on board with a sponsorship, a supplement company or whatever, and they said, look, you can have your supplements each month or whatever, but we'll also pay for your entries for every competition that you enter in. That would be an absolute amazing, because in Australia, we have to do a state show to qualify for a pro qualifier. All right. So we do a state show. A state show alone with hair and makeup, and then also all of the division you got to pay for, your registration every year, all that sort of stuff. So just your first show alone is about $600. Easy. Just hair and makeup and registration, and for the show. So that's $600. If that was covered every single time you competed, like, that's a saving in itself. That's incredible. That's something that you wouldn't have to worry about. You wouldn't have to. You do as many divisions as you wanted to, as many times in the year as you wanted to compete. And the more that you compete, I think the more better off your sponsors would be as well, because you're a brand now, right? You're competing all the time. So I think that would be better for amateurs, for something like that. Even just to help towards that cost. When it comes to overseas, even if they were to pay sort of like, again, the registration overseas, like me, going over to the States, that was like around about, I think about $6,000 all up just to compete at the Olympia.
Yeah, I know a lady who just, she's a friend of mine. Her name's Lori. She turned pro last year, and no, it was the year before last, and she made her pro debut at the Masters Olympia. She was invited. She told me, counting her costs, her husband's costs going there, it was at least over $10,000, and
Yeah.
that's going to Romania. And also you have to get a visa to come here because visas where you can work and compete at the shows. Like I said, room and board that counts, tanning, all this, that's so much money you put into it. It's like I said again, it's a money
Yeah.
pit. This is a question from a man, Russ G. Shout out to Russ. He says, Nokia or Canon? So
I was Nikon, and if you're a
Nikon,
Canon guy, I'm sorry, you're probably gonna hate me for life.
he likes Nikon. Okay, Nikon. Okay, Nikon.
Ah,
Okay, yes,
beautiful.
yes, yes. He says, okay, he's good with you. Yeah, he's good at that.
Good.
But yeah, I do talk about how it's just one thing is that this sport needs more recognition. Needs more opportunities.
Yeah.
Even when you become a pro, because you're 48, you can do masters. You have to still pay entry fee for that. You know,
Mhm.
little things can help you along the way, especially save the cost of expense. The cost of your posing suit. If you get a sponsor that can pay for your entry fee, your
Mhm.
traveling fees, all of those things that can help you save your money. And I know some competitors they do. Um, they have sponsors that pay them to compete. That's why you see sometimes here in the States you see some pros do multiple shows, but
Yes.
everybody else it's like they have to really dig in their pockets to try to keep on going. Here my man. Uh, he says, "LOL, I love you. I am a Nokia guy. LOL." So thank you, Russ. Thank you for sharing that. So if you were training somebody and
Yes.
working with them, what advice would you give them as a posing coach?
Okay, so as a posing coach, so I've just first met them and I've looked at what they've done. So I get a lot of people that have never done figure before and they can't even get their lats out. So I would start with getting their lats out as first as a because that's what we need as a figure competitor. We need our lats, and work along that way, and then just basically just the basics of just our quarter turns, our mandatories first before it comes into muscularity, always on muscularity. So our mandatories are 100% always has to be nailed before we go into any kind of like muscular posing. But yeah, it's just basically just I break it down. Like I work with girls from 20 weeks out. Some of them have never done figure before. Some of them have done figure for years and they've got really bad habits. And a lot of their bad habits are normally sort of like they're shrugging, you know, up like this, or they're narrowing themselves, or their not lats aren't quite big enough, or their backs or their scapulars are all spinched at the back. Their legs aren't sort of really showing, their glutes aren't showing. So I will look at their flaws, and then I'll try to fix their flaws first, and then work with my flow. From the very beginning, if someone's just starting out, it's just very basic, just getting your lats out, doing basic turns first for weeks until they've nailed it, and then their confidence will start to build, and then it will progress on. I think confidence is a big thing when it comes to competing, and I think a lot of women struggle with that because we're very body conscious. I think, I mean, men are too, but I think women obviously are more body conscious than men. Body dysmorphia is huge, obviously, with women. And I think a lot of new time competitors too haven't ever been in a bikini before in front of thousands of people. So to build that confidence within my posing is a big thing for them to step on stage. Because if they've got that confidence from the very beginning and they're looking like a pro from the very start with their posing, particularly about their posing, then they're 100% going to be in the top three. There's no doubt that confidence and presentation and great posing is going to get them in the mix. It's their coaches that need to get them lean. And I work with their coaches as well. So it's really good to work with their coaches as well. And we kind of bounce off a few ideas here and there as well. And I make sure that if I see a girl at 6 weeks out and I reckon she needs a bit of more of a push, I'll say it. I'll say, hey, maybe you need a little bit, hurry up. we need more conditioning here and there, because I'm seeing them pose where their coach themselves, their prep coach, maybe they're an online prep coach, are only really seeing pictures of them posing statically in photos. They're not actually physically seeing them pose the way that I am. So yeah, just I think more so confidence for my posing clients, and then just really gradually just getting them to that point where they're not thinking about their posing on stage.
Because it's a lot of hard work to pose. Because like I said again, you have to flare out your lats. You have to make sure your shoulders are even. You have to make sure everything is like the best way to say it, perfect, if near perfect.
Yeah.
And know that in the
Yeah.
judging criteria, I think they don't really have any set guidelines when you look at like even with bodybuilding, figure, and physique. They have the guidelines for the other divisions, but it seems like if you on stage, you look at a girl who looks like she should be in physique. Why are you here in figure? I understand that you always the issue is I don't want to be too masculine. I don't want to be too manly. But this is how I say it like this: it's the evolution of an athlete. One lady who I follow, Ashley Jones, she was a fit competitor. She made the switch up to women's physique. Now she's competing at the Olympia in women's bodybuilding. And some women they do work. I mean, one lady I remember her name was Samantha Jeering. She competed as a fit competitor. Now she's going over to wellness. You see that a lot more
Oh,
girls.
is she? Oh, okay. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
yeah.
I
I
know
said,
Samantha. Yeah.
somebody mentioned it to me because like I say, hey, this guy's friend said, you ever heard of her? I said, no, I never heard of her. That's why I'm really trying to expand myself into early divisions. I was mostly
Mm-hmm.
exclusively about women's bodybuilding. I have done some interviews
Yeah.
with physique competitors, some figure competitors, and physique competitors. I used to call women's physique watered down women's bodybuilding. And with I know I talk with some ladies that don't like doing figure too much with the high heels. And one of my favorite comedians, Chris Rock, says a daddy's job is keep his girl out of high heels. That's that's stripping. So that was one
Fair
of my
enough.
jobs. I used to work in a club. I used to work in a gentleman's club in the hood. We call it the booty club. But it's a lot of work to move to get you motivated. I know there's times where you get up in the morning. You say, I don't want to go to the gym. I just want to lay here. Especially what you went through, last year. I
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
know it's a lot to motivate yourself, but to keep yourself going.
Mm-hmm.
Where there's times where you know what you can just say toss it and just say bollocks and just chill out and I don't want to do this anymore.
I had to learn to walk again. So because I lost all my muscle, I couldn't weight bear. I couldn't walk. So they had like a little frame for me to put my arms on to walk. And I remember walking like maybe not even 100 meters, and I was like crying. I collapsed. And the physio guy said to me, he goes, "Oh, oh, it's all right. You'll get better. You'll get better. It's okay." And I said, "It's not why I'm crying." And he goes, "Well, why are you crying?" I said, "Because I know I can do better." So that was my mindset. The minute I sort of like got out of the coma, I wanted to keep moving. So when I was flat on my back in bed, after I got out of the coma, I was moving my arms, I was moving my legs, I was like trying to flex my muscles just to try to get that mind to muscle back to my body. Um, and not just laying there doing nothing and then waiting for physio to come every day. I was physically doing stuff. And when physio left, I'd get back up again and try again. And I'd collapse and I'd have nurses put me back to bed. So, and then within a week and a half, I was walking the hallways. Not walking great, but I was walking sort of like, almost like a robot, but I was walking, and I was physically getting there. So bodybuilding, if anything, saved me because it made me not give up and it made me just keep going. Because when it comes to bodybuilding and bodybuilding shows, you get into this mindset of just when you said in the morning, sometimes you don't want to get out of bed. Sometimes you don't get that. You just get up. Sometimes it's just a flick like this when you're in prep or even when you're in your off season. It should be 24/7 anyway, and you just get out of bed and you do it. It's not something that you think about not doing. It's like, no, we just get it done. A lot of people don't have that mindset. Some people and that's where people get off the wagon. They'll compete, they'll want to compete, and then 6 weeks out from a show, they quit. It's too hard. It's too much. They've had a fight with their girlfriend, or they're arguing because they're hungry or they're starving. Yeah. So some people just aren't able to do it.
Hmm. Yeah, sometimes it goes back to a saying that my other half say, like to say sometimes. He says this: sometimes what doesn't make you make you stranger makes you stronger.
Very
Oh,
true.
and Nay, before I leave, I want to say something to you, if you don't mind.
Hmm.
I
Of
want
course.
to say, you are beautiful. I'm so sorry about him.
Yeah.
I try to keep him there, calm down. But yeah,
It's
I
all right.
mean,
I'm a big
it's
fan of the
so,
Joker.
yeah, everybody loves him, man. My man K, he picks up and says, man, no one likes the Joker. Hey, man, women like something funny. You have to have a gimmick. That's my gimmick.
Of
But
course. Love it.
he's a person. He's my part. He's a part of me. He's just that guy who just makes me, because you know what? I just love, I'm a big fan of comic books. I love the whole Batman's my favorite superhero. I love the whole Dark Knight trilogy with Kristen Bale. I mean, it was a great movie. A lot of quotes in it. I'm a big movie buff. Like one of my favorites is the Rocky Balboa series. Like Rocky Balboa telling you, like it's not matter how hard you can hit, it's how hard to take the hits. Keep moving forward.
Yeah.
How much you can take and keep moving forward, and that's what happened to you. Nate.
Yeah.
You took the hits and kept moving forward, especially for yourself, your kids. It's a lot to do this. I mean, to keep motivated in a sport where it's not a lot of recognition, not a lot of
Hmm.
money,
Hmm.
the time you put it, the money you put into it, and
I was almost about to give up, George. I really was. I was when I woke up 2 days after the coma. I said, "I'll no more." I was going to give up. I was going to do any more bodybuilding. And then about 3 days after that, I slapped myself in the face and and said, "No, no, no, no. The comeback will be even greater." So, so yeah. So I did my research to try to get myself healthy and quick as possible, and get myself back in the gym. And I've said his name a few times. My coach, Cuba Clean. He saved me. He's incredible, and my friends here locally as well has saved me as well. The ones that visited me in hospital, messaged me every single day, encouraged me in the gym, saw me get into the gym when I was like really tiny frame with no muscle to now. So, um, I've inspired people to also not to give up. I get messages daily, saying, "Oh, you're such an inspiration." I don't set myself to be one, but if I am one, then that's great because I want it to be positive, a positive experience for everybody, not a negative one. And even though what happened to me was really bad, at the end of the day, it's become positive, because look at me now. So it just goes to show that when you're at the very lowest of the low, you can't go any further. You can only go up, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I interviewed a while back a gentleman. His name's Autumn Priori. His wife's the IB pro. He's amateur competitor. He does classic. He also does men's physique. And we talked about he had gotten the Omicron variant, and the brother was near death's door. And he come back. He did come back next year and competed. and now he takes some time off because him and his wife they both train other competitors, and and it's just what you go through. Because my mom, she had gotten the virus. She was always sick. I was taking care of her, and you know what, she went through a bunch of seizures and stuff like that. My mom was my woman. I loved her, and I was still by her side going through that. And when she died, I just lost a piece of me. But you know what, it motivates. She often told us, son, sometimes a closed mouth don't get fed. If anything you want in life, you have to work for it. No one's going to give you anything.
Nope.
It's not going to be handed to us on a silver platter. If it is, then you got to be looking at here. Hey, if somebody's offering me something, there's something got to be a catch. Like one of my quotes is I say again from a man, Ra's al Ghul, my master Ra's al Ghul, the hands all taught me. Beware of surroundings all time, young master Wayne. Never give up sure footing for a killing blow. And there's a lot to the sport. The time you put into it, the money you put into it. It's it's something that a lot of people need to understand. Like I said, you competitors deserve a lot more recognition, especially for you women. I think like one thing I look at is how the prize money is not as much.
Yeah.
Even though that the majority of the sport is women. Like I said again, divisions like bikini, wellness, fitness, figure, women's physique, and women's bodybuilding. I mean, like again, the guys, I give them respect, but like I said, this is my channel, and I gotta say it may not be the 80s, but I'm down with the ladies. That's why I enjoy talking with women like yourself.
Yeah.
I reach out to people that I know my guys who follow me say, George, we'll get this girl, we'll get that girl, we'll get this guy. I mean, I get the people that interest me. Now, one person I know you guys, I got to segue into her. This is one person I would love to have on this one day is Andrea
Oh,
Shaw. Oh my God.
don't even go there. She's incredible. She's next level, that woman.
I want to show you something, Renee. I want to show you something, Renee. I got this. And what makes it so special? What makes it so special for me is because a friend of mine, her name is Eunice, and Eunice runs Bad Rap. I always love showing this out because I love this. It makes me feel so special. She, nicest lady. I heard so much about her. She signed it for
Oh, beautiful.
me. Beautiful.
Yeah, she's incredible.
She is the standard for women's bodybuilding. Now, other than Sid, who do you like in sport? Who you a fan of? Either divisions.
Oh, wowzers. Look, honestly, it's evolved so much and changed so much, and there's new people coming in and out from the